Hello everyone, hope you're doing well, and it is time for our first installment of Reach the Peak. Relatively straightforward. What we will do together is we will choose a single deck type, and we will see how high we can climb on the Master Duel ladder, hopefully achieving the highest rank possible. While we climb the ladder, we can go ahead and see what the deck's strengths are, what its weaknesses are, different ways we could play it, different matchups between both rogue and meta, and what's essentially going to take us from the bottom all the way to the very top. And this month we'll be doing none other than Drytron. Now, as much as I wanted the first deck to be Marine Cess, hey, no, you get back. We'll get to you when you get your new support in Master Duel. Okay, thank you. What a goober. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the bread and butter and go into the game, shall we? Now, thing to keep in mind with this deck, you need 2 cards to successfully pull off your combos, right? If you have Alpha, this card, and Zeta, this card, these 2 little guys right here, you can do your full combo. Whenever you're doing your initial combo, turn 1 or turn 2, you want to get to these 2 cards and do the combo I'm about to show you. If you do that, you're in for a good time. If not, there are a few ways to get around that, but we can get to that in a little bit. Here's an example of a hand that gets you your basic starters and how we can do our full combo beyond that. So what you want to do, again, you want to get Alpha and Zeta to your hand. Now, if you don't have those in hand in particular, fear not. Drytron Nova and a card called Cyber Emergency will get you those combo pieces. So with these 2, the very first thing you want to do is get the Alpha to go off. Alpha is going to search Ben 10, one of the core cards of your deck. So here we're going to use Alpha's effect to tribute off the Zeta and add the Ben 10 to hand. Now we're going to normal summon the Diviner. This part you don't need to do in this particular order. I just thought I would do it this way. But anyway, once you get the Alpha on field search Ben 10, we will now tribute the Ben 10 with the Zeta to grab a ritual spell. Ben 10's effect to search, typically you're going to add Diviner if you don't have it, but since I do, I'm going to go ahead and add the Edaton. From here, we're going to hit our very first checkpoint, where we want to overlay both the Alpha and the Zeta to go for Mu Beta Fafnir. Mu Beta Fafnir has a really unique ability where its materials can be used as ritual materials. So here we're going to show that. We're going to go for a ritual summon by attributing the Alpha off the Mu Beta Fafnir, and that's going to go ahead and grab us the Edaton. Now, Edaton does have a unique ability where if it is tributed, not once per turn by the way, we can add the Metonus Drytron, our ritual spell, back to our hand. So with that said, this card is used more than once per turn. We'll go ahead and do it again to ritual summon the second material off the Mu Beta Fafnir in order to bring out the Ben 10. That will go ahead and bring it out. So what you want to do here is make sure after you go for the Mu Beta Fafnir, you want to hit your second checkpoint. And your second checkpoint is going to be Diviner of the Herald, which is now level 6 because of its effect, and one of the other Cyber Angels to go into your second checkpoint, being Beatrice, Lady of the Burning Abyss. We're going to go ahead and use the effect to dump the Ava. Ava's effect, we're going to go ahead and pitch 2 to add. Now, at this point, what we have Diviner Herald in our hand. We have Herald of Ultimateness and 2 orange lights. So if our opponent does try to Nibiru here, they can't, unfortunately for them. So I do have a way to stop Nibiru in case he tends to go too far, but at this point we're just going to keep going, activate our ritual spell again by dropping the Mu Beta Fafnir by 1000 attack points, and that will bring out the Herald of Ultimateness. So that is checkpoint number 3. So first you go for the Mu Beta Fafnir, next you go for the Beatrice, and third you go for the Herald of Ultimateness, and finally you end off of IP Masquerena. Now, this is going to be a 3-part video. This being part 1, we are going to show our adventure all the way through Gold Rank, and then moving forward, part 2 is going to be Platinum, and part 3 is going to be Diamond, and we'll see, hopefully, all the way up to Diamond 1. So with that out of the way, let's go and see how we did in Gold. Going into our very first Gold match game here. Looking at our hand right now, fantastic. We have both Alpha and Nova, a way to bring out the Zeta so we can go full combo. So a few things playing this deck you want to look out for. 1 is any major hand trap that stops Mu Beta Fafnir, and 2 is Nibiru. Depending on your extenders, a good Nibiru will 100% stop your play, and you can't do anything beyond that. So make sure if you are able to play around Nibiru, have at least 1 more extender in your hand. So anyway, as you can see here, I'm going the typical Drytron combo. We're going to use Diviner to grab the Herald. Okay, so with that, we are past summon number 5, and our opponent is smart. They will go for the Nibiru. So normally this would end our turn, but luckily we did save the Gamma specifically for this cause. With Gamma's effect here, we can revive back into the Drytron, add back the Menace Drytron to hand. We're going to Ritual Summon out the Natasha. So we are going to go for a bit of a gamble here. We're going to use almost all of our resources to go ahead and empty our opponent's board. We're going to go ahead and link off into the IP Masquerena, bring out the Natasha, and stealing the nib off that. We did have to banish the Ben 10, unfortunately, but this does give us a Boral Sword that is untargetable, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So pretty strong board here. At this point, it's going to be all or nothing. My opponent is going to play Mathmex, but unfortunately, the last card I did have in hand was the Maxi. So as long as he keeps continuing his plays, I can keep drawing cards. So my opponent's going to see it's, unless he has a specific out to out me this turn, there isn't really a way to take this game, unfortunately. So with that said, I'm going to keep drawing, and he will scoop. There we go. Next game here we go. Now look, the Drytron bread and butter is fine. It's strong. If you can do it correctly, it is really hard to out. But let's say you can't do it or you don't have the resources. What are your options, right? Well, let's find out. Our opponent is going to go first here. They're going to banish the Water Enchantress to add the Rite of Erismir. They're going to go ahead and add the Rite of Erismir, getting out the token and the Fateful Adventure. Fateful Adventure here, they're going to grab the Draco back, and with that as well, they are going to grab the Griffin Rider. I need to stop this Griffin Rider, otherwise if they have a free negate, I'm going to have a very difficult time breaking this board. So the Griffin, I will go ahead and use Herald here, and unfortunately, he does have the Called By, which, it ain't good, fellas, it ain't good at all. So our opponent's going to pass on a back row and a Griffin. Could not do anything with the Shadal Dragon, which is interesting. Here I'm going to Foolish Burial, hoping he'll Griffin. He's smart and doesn't, so I might as well go for the Gamma. Gamma here, he will try to negate, but I do have the Forbidden Droplet. I was hoping to use the Foolish Burial cost for the Forbidden Droplet, but again, he waits to activate it here. So anyway, I'm able to go into the Mu Beta Fafnir. Unfortunately, can't do anything else, but backup plan here, because an Xyz monster did attack, we can overlay into Downward Magician, and Downward Magician goes into the one and only Zeus. Zeus here, I have 2 wipes. I'm going to use the first one to wipe the entire board. Our opponent's going to go ahead and draw for turn. I'm feeling very confident about this. They will summon the Ash Blossom and go into the Almirage. I assume here they were trying to bait out a Zeus wipe. I'm not giving it to them, unfortunately, because, I mean, I know they can't do anything here. I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn, rip one of the best top decks, and our opponent sees I can full combo here. They're going to scoop. Okay, so going first, our end goal is to get to a Herald of Perfection with about 4 or 5 different negates, plus an IP Masquerena to Unicorn Bounce, but I guess the next question is, can this deck OTK? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Unfortunately, I do go first, and I can't do much with this hand. I have 1 Herald negate, but that's it, so I set the droplet and pass. My opponent, unfortunately, also sets and pass, which is very interesting. But thank goodness I did rip the Alpha, so now I can Alpha Tribute, and we can go to full combo here. Ben 10 Tribute off the Zeta to grab the Diviner of the Herald, overlay into the Mu Beta Fafnir. Mu Beta will dump the Gamma. That will give us 2 more resources. We're going to summon Diviner. No hand traps, no interruptions, feeling fantastic. What's nice about this hand as well is because of the Herald and the Ava in hand, I always have a way to stop any kind of heavy hand trap. So if you had a way to negate the Mu Beta Fafnir with an Ash or an Imperm, I can do the Herald. But if he does, more importantly, go for Nibiru and wipe my whole board out, I do have the Herald to stop that as well. So I'm feeling pretty confident and protected about this board. So right now, the goal is to get rid of the back row in case of something like Drowning. Mind you, we are in gold, so honestly, you can run into anything, whether it's meta or not. So basically, out the back row, put on 8k damage, and go for game. So right now, we're going to do our basic combo, go into IP, Drytron over here, going to another copy of Alpha just for more material. I'm going to link off here into the Unicorn. Unicorn's effect, I will discard the Ava, getting rid of the Kaiju Capture mission. So I guess looking at this, he was playing a going second deck, which, hey, perfectly fine by me. I'm going to use Ava, banish the 2 Heralds to add 2 more materials to hand. Finally, we go into Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker, you cannot respond to it. Gain 3,000 attack points, and that is game, my guys. Gotta love it. Multiple negates, and we have a way to OTK. What a cool deck. Well, okay, we've been playing against a fair amount of rogue decks. That's expected. We're in gold. But what if we played against meta? Well, let's see what we can do here. So my opponent is going to be playing Prank Kids, one of the top decks right now, and I'm going to be playing Drytron. So they're going to start out by summoning Fansies and use Fansies effect to get another Prank Kids. So here's the thing with Prank Kids. Unless they have pranks or a way to block Ash, if you stop the very first Prank Kids, they have to pass their turn. They can't do anything beyond that. So anyway, they have to pass, unfortunately. So at this point, we can do some stuff. We'll go ahead and use Alpha Tribute. We do not have a way to get to Zeta, so we can't go our full combo on OTK, but at the same time, we still can do some interesting stuff here. We're gonna use Nightmare Griffin to discard 1 to pop a spell or trap. Honestly, it doesn't matter which spell or trap we pop, as long as we can get rid of the back row. That's what's important here. Our opponent on end phase, since they control the monsters, will summon the Wandering Griffin Rider. Perfectly fine. I do have the Called by set, just in case they happen to have another Prank Kid summon, because the Prank Kid's effect activates in the graveyard, so we can banish it. Anyway, all they can do is attack with Griffin, and they will pass turn. Alpha here will tribute the Ben 10 to grab the Cyber Angel Edaton. Ben 10's effect here will search the Diviner. Hopefully they have no way to stop Diviner. They do, unfortunately. They have the Ghost Ogre. With that, I'm going to respond with a Call by a Grave. They have the effect Veiler, and I have the second Called by the Grave. Oh, you love to see it. Double hand trap stop there. So with that, they only have 1 card in hand. The Diviner is popping off here. Diviner will grab the Herald of the Arclight, which will search for the Menace Drytron. Let's go ahead and tribute the Alpha to grab the Edaton. Edaton on summon will grab the Ritual Spell back to hand for recurrence. And now I can overlay into our Beatrice. So again, you do have your standard combo, but there are ways you can still play around it. We can go for the, I guess, certain checkpoints, which allow us to grab stuff. In this case, we're going to go for Beatrice, which will give us both the Herald and the Diviner. So if my opponent does activate a Prank Kids, I can negate it with these. If not, I have essentially full combo for next turn. My opponent's going to go ahead and draw here and activate Prank Kids place. They're going to grab the Dropsies. They're going to know some of the Dropsies and know that I can negate Herald, and they are going to scoop onto the last game. Last game to get us out of gold. Let's see what we can do. So, looking at my hand, double Ash Blossom, a Natasha, Ben 10, and Emergency. I can do something, but nothing super crazy. My opponent is going to be playing Magister? Something. I'm not sure. I'm here to play Drytron. Anyway, I don't know what this deck does. I'm going to Ash Blossom hoping they can extend. And yeah, sure enough, they can't. I am going to tribute the Ben 10 to bring out the Alpha and search the Edaton. Ben 10 effect will get the Diviner. Hopefully, I can get a Beatrice on the board and get some interruptions beyond that. We're going to go ahead and get the Menace Drytron. We're going to tribute out to bring the Edaton. Edaton effect on summon. We'll grab the field spell. Oh, my bad. The ritual spell. There we go. The ritual spell back to hand. We are going to overlay into our rankings Beatrice. Beatrice detached. We are going to send the Gamma. Gamma's effect. We can get rid of the Natasha to bring it out. That gets us to our second checkpoint. So technically, yes, Mu Beta Fafnir is the first checkpoint to do your full combo, but because the hand was a little wonky, I messed with it a bit. So first we go Beatrice, then we go Mu Beta Fafnir. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and bring out the Edaton. Remember, Edaton's effect to grab the ritual spell is not once per turn. So as long as you can keep bringing it out, it's a free extender. Just keep it happening over and over and over. We're going to head and go get out the other Drytron, which allows to draw into a Forbidden Droplet. Great way to stop the board. We're going to attack with Ben 10. I didn't know this until I was playing this. Ben 10 has a secret effect where if you attack a monster, they lose life points equal to its damage. So my opponent now is down to a mere 700 life points. I'm feeling confident, but at the same time, I don't quite know what the Magic whatever deck, yes. I'm not quite sure what it does, so just to be safe, I'm going to link it to the IP Masquerena, and I'm going to overlay into Zeus here. Beatrice effect on standby, I will send Ava to the graveyard. Ava's effect, I will banish two Heralds to grab the Herald of the Orange Light and the Diviner of the Herald. So I do have one interruption with the Herald. I do have a Zeus wipe, and I have an IP Masquerena to a Unicorn bounce. So feeling pretty good about that. My opponent's going to start off by summoning out the Unicorn here. Or, my bad, not the Unicorn, the Pankratops here. They will go into Borreload Savage. Borreload is a bit of a problem, so I will chain the IP Masquerena to go into the Unicorn. Unicorn summon here. I will discard to force the negate here. We're going to use Herald of the Orange Light to negate it altogether. And battle phase, they are going to attack here. Now, what I should have done is I should have Zeus wiped to keep both the Herald and the Diviner in my hand. I would have had 2 more resources. Bit of a misplay, but, we are learning the deck as we're going on, right? So standby phase, I'm going to use the Gamma, tribute out the Alpha, bring out the Zeta, go to the Mu Beta Fafnir. At this point, this is more than enough damage to go for game. I'm not going to screw around in case I get a hit, a nib, and I will swing for game. And with that, we are out of gold and into the diamond, no, platinum, my bad. So for the next video, the part 2 coming out, which by the way, I can't really put part 2 in the title, so I'm going to put in the thumbnail, and hopefully that kind of gets the point across. But yeah, so for part 2, we are going to be within the platinum rank, and we're going to see if we can shoot all the way to diamond, and hopefully by part 3, we'll get diamond all the way to diamond 1. What I feel about the deck right now, the current build, it's a little inconsistent in regards of it doesn't quite get to the combo pieces as often as I would like, right? I might stick with this build, I might not. We'll definitely try to see if we can figure something out for the part 2, okay? Everyone, thank you so much for watching. And then what's next? Please enjoy the deck profile and the bloopers for this video. Thank you, everyone. For this month, we'll be doing none other than... That was horrible. So, we did it. So when the season first started, I didn't play a crazy amount whenever... I did... Okay. So, we did it. We officially climbed out of gold rank. We are now in the next tier, which is something. Shit, what is it? Oh my god, this is... hold on, I'm gonna Google this now. Master Duel tier ladder. What the hell is it? It's nope, that's the ban list. I don't think so. Here we go, rankings and tiers. Platinum. Okay, it's platinum. Sorry. Thank you. Gotta do a whole different take now.